Do you know what zombies are?
Yeah.
Okay, so what can you tell me about zombies? What do you know as far as facts?
They're not real.
False.
What?
They are real. Did you know zombies don't work out their minds?
I didn't know that.
If you ever see someone in class that's struggling and doesn't want to read, they're distracted by shiny objects like their cell phone, probably a zombie. So we got to prevent becoming a zombie by becoming a strong reader. And so these are 4 zombie survival tips to help us become strong readers. See, each of these 4 things we do when we're reading, that way we don't become zombies ourselves. Since you're going to help us with this, and we're going to put this out there to help others not become zombies by becoming stronger readers, can you introduce yourself?
My name is Christian Martinez, and I am in the 7th grade at Taft Middle School.
So which camera did you want them to introduce themselves to? That one?
Right here.
Oh.
Okay. Hi guys. So my name is Tiana Kane. I'm 14 and we're about to do this reading exercise, I guess. So
my name is Felicity Ekwani. I'm 14. We go to Taft Middle School.
yeah.
And who's your favorite principal of all time?
Miss Johnson.
That's a good answer. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of these steps. I'm going to do it, and then you're going to do it and answer the questions after we read some of these passages that Mary Maz over here, Agent Maz, picked out for us. Which one would you prefer to read first? This is a study about monkeys, and this is something... thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, here we go. So we're just gonna read it to ourselves real quick, and then we'll go through these 4 areas, okay? All right, ready? Go. Good?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right, flip it over. I'm just gonna do it by memory now. Okay, first things first. We start at the top, this blue icon for visualize. So it says, as I'm reading, the picture in my head is, and after I read that, I imagined Big Mama. Are you familiar with Big Mama?
Yeah.
Okay, so I imagine Big Mama just roughhousing the heck out of somebody, like shaking them up, chewing them out. So, you know, kind of like my own mom, like just chewing them out, and like, except my mom would say stuff in like Spanish. But what did you imagine? What picture came in your head?
While Big Mama was holding him, the kid was scared to death.
Yeah? So what are some details of what his face might look like?
I don't know, all red.
Yeah, all red. A little bit embarrassed, a little bit in shock,
Yeah.
a little bit in fear. So perfect. You imagine that picture. That's the first step. And second one, now it's starting to get a little bit harder. As I'm reading, the questions I have are. So a question I might have would be, despite this kid is like trying to steal from Big Mama, he seems to have really good manners. I wonder who taught him those manners. Because he says, yes ma'am, no ma'am, right? That's good manners, that's good etiquette. I appreciate that. What are some questions that you can think of just off the top of your head?
I'm not sure.
You can take your time. Like, what if we focus on just the boy? What is the question that Big Mama asked him?
Is he embarrassed?
Yeah, so that's one question. So it might ask, I wonder if he is embarrassed. What are some other questions that she asked him?
Are you ashamed?
Are you ashamed?
Yeah.
What else? What did he do?
He tried to grab her purse.
Yeah. So what is the question that you might have about that?
Why'd you try to get my purse?
What's up with that? Why'd you do that? That's a good question. Okay, so that's a good that's another good technique good readers ask or good readers do when they're reading. Turn to the next one. All right. Now we're like on level 3. It gets even a little bit more difficult here. As I'm reading, I think what happens next is, so we didn't get the whole passage. We stopped halfway through, which is good. So what do you think happens next? I don't know, she seems angry. I bet she takes him and turns him into the police station. What do you think might happen next?
Big Mom was gonna beat him up.
Beat him up? Yeah. So that's a good interpretation. Why do you think that?
Because he probably had something private in her stuff that she didn't want him to know.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's like, this is my stuff. You can't be getting in my purse. I'm gonna beat you up. Okay. And here's the most advanced, like, ninja level thinking for being a good reader. This reminds me of. Does this remind you of any? I might have given this away already. Does this remind you of any movies? Does this remind you of anything that's ever happened to you? And this definitely reminds me of something that happened to me as a kid. I needed to borrow some money from my mom. I just went to her purse and I pulled out $20. When she found out I pulled out that $20 without asking, I got whooped. Does it remind you of anything? Like a movie, a book, something that happened to you in past life? Do you have a big mama like this? Does it remind you of a movie? A movie character?
At a show.
What is it?
A show. There's like these people who are from gang and try to grab someone like their neighbor's store, and one of their aunts saw them and told their mom, and she got whooping.
What show is this?
It's Spanish. Rosa de Guadalupe.
Oh, okay.
It's like,
The
you know.
Rose of Guadalupe?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. So, do you watch Chespirito? Chespirito? Do they still have that?
Oh, no.
No? Okay, it's an old school show. Never mind.
Yeah, I've seen it's just like school kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Well, good job. Let's try it one more time with the next passage. Because we did that with fiction, and remember we're going to do it with like nonfiction. So same thing. We're going to read it. Now that you had a practice, so you kind of know the things I'm going to ask you. You can always refer to this if you want. But we're going to read it, and when you're done, just flip it over and you're ready to go.
Do we read this part right here, the one that's fading away?
Yep. As much as you can.
Okay.
Okay? On your mark. Get set. Read. All good?
Yes.
All right. So that one was hard. Because it was longer. There's a lot to like take in on that. I went first last time, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to go first this time. Show it how it's done. So after rereading this, study suggests chimps can learn language. What picture comes to your head when you read that?
Monkeys talking to each other.
That's right. I imagine like a bunch of monkeys sitting around drinking tea, and they're like talking about like the news and whatnot, and like monkey stuff. Like, oh, did you try this banana? It's great, right?
Yes.
Same picture?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're smart. All right. And as I'm reading, the questions I have are, what's a question you had or can make from this? If you were going to make a quiz for class on this, what's one question you put on that quiz?
How do they know what they're saying?
Boom, and you can find the answer in this if you read it. That's a good one. I would say, how come apples? Because, it focused on like them having a word for apples.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would focus on the word for bananas. I wonder why apples are so important. And as I'm reading, I think what happens next is, this one's a tough one because it usually goes with more of a story. But after the researchers look at all this data about the things chimps can do, and they learned that chimps can say apple and they have friendships, what's something else they might want to research about chimps next?
They're gonna know, like, not just how to say the fruit, but to say like words like us.
Dang, you're good at this. All right, yeah. So I might think they would want to research, well, what do they do for fun?
Researching.
Right? Yeah, they want to research like what that's might be something that happens next. And as I'm reading, this reminds me of. Does this remind you of anything? A cartoon, a movie, another book, another TV show, even if it's Spanish, that you've seen with monkeys that talk?
The apes, I forgot the name.
What did they do?
They all talk. They I think, yeah, they talk to yeah.
Planet of the Apes? Oh, old school. Yeah. I was thinking. Oh, I guess they like revamped that, right?
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes. That's right. They do. They like. Yeah, I remember that movie. Because it had James Franco in it. He's pretty cool. He's hilarious. I thought of. It reminded me of Donkey Kong. Have you played Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew we could get along. That's awesome. Man, you're so good at that. So now you can just drop the mic and say, if you want to look into the camera, just say, that's how you read. No, okay.
No, I'm good.
That's fine. I'll say, that's how you read. That's how reading's done. Thank you so much for your help today, okay?
Welcome.
Okay, so Josh and I'll kind of show you how we would go about this reading, and then you guys can practice it. How does that sound? And the picture didn't turn out really well, so you can just imagine that the picture looks like that. Okay, so how this works is we're gonna take turns. So Josh, you can probably read first.
Okay.
And then we'll both read silently, and then we'll turn it over, and Josh is gonna tell me what he read about, and I'm gonna listen to the details, and if he forgot something, I'm gonna be like, well, remember to Josh, this, and this happened. And then we switch.
Okay, how far are we reading to?
Just the first thing, so we'll both read.
First 2 paragraphs?
Yeah, I bet I
Okay.
can beat you.
All right, go.
What do you remember?
I remember that some scientists, and I think they're from New Zealand, I think that was one of the details. Well, they were looking at these apes, and they were listening to them for years, and they found out these apes knew how to say apple, but they don't say like apple. They say like, they make like a noise like, and that means apple. That's it.
That's pretty much all I can remember too. Okay, are you girls ready?
Yes.
So you'll do the next one. So you'll both read this section, and then you'll take turns, the listener and the teller.
On your mark, get set, read.
What do you remember? I remember it says that they make grunting sounds to communicate with each other about predators and food, and other apes can hear it, but it's not an actual language.
Like they get emotional, or like yeah, they get emotional.
What's going on while you guys were reading silently? What was happening in your head? Can you tell us about that?
Oh, my head is like mixed up. Like as I'm reading it, but like my brain somehow gets sidetracked.
I totally understand that. What do you do when it gets sidetracked?
I just like scan over it and pick out like the main words, and then I'll have to go back there and like pick out smaller things.
Yeah, like when I get sidetracked, like if I'm thinking about something else, like as I'm reading, and like I'm thinking about it, and then I'm like, okay, and then I snap back into reality, and then I get sidetracked again. It happens a lot, she knows.
So what I kind of hear you saying is that you're like, oh, I realize I'm doing it, so I stop and I go back and reread. Do you read again whenever you realize like, oh, I didn't really read that paragraph. I mean, I read the words, but I have no idea what it said. Then do you go back?
Yeah.
You reread? Did you always do that, or is that something you had to learn to do?
I've always done that.
I've always did that, and I'm trying to get my brain not to like be sidetracked with like other things.
What are other things that are happening in your brain while you're reading? Or what are other tools you use? So that's a tool. You stop and you go back and read again. So what are other things you do that help you focus while you're reading?
In my head, I highlight the main like words and like subject and what it's talking about.
That's awesome. How does that help you?
Like if I do end up like just scanning over it, I just pick out what it is and that like sticks in my brain.
How'd you learn how to do that?
I don't know. Started when I read those books.
Yeah,
The Harry Potter?
I've read them 4 times.
She reads big books. I don't read big books. I read like skinny books. Yeah. But like what I do is like I will like put everything that I read, like just in case if I forget it, I will like put it in the storage. Cause I have a storage in my brain. And it's like back here somewhere. And you know, I put it in there. And then if I'm like taking a test, I read a question, I'm like, oh, it's in my story, so I'll open my story and I'll be like, that's the answer. That's why I have A's and B's in all my classes.
Is it like would you say it's like a closet or a warehouse? Or is it like a file cabinet? What kind of storage are we talking about?
It's like the closet, like my storage closet is like my bedroom closet filled with clothes and shoes. Instead of clothes and shoes, it's filled with ideas and answers.
Are they on hangers? Are they
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
shoe boxes? Okay.
They're in shoe boxes and hangers.
Nice.
So
Are there any
Awesome.
pictures in that closet? So like when you go back to that storage, for example, on maybe your social studies test, do you ever recall any information like in pictures, like maps or anything?
I don't.
You don't so
I just
much?
remember keywords instead of maps.
Keywords.
Cause I get mixed up with maps. Like if I see a word and then I remember like, oh, I just read that word the other day, and then I'll remember and then put it. So yeah.
So what kind of pictures do you have in your closet? Like if you were to did you get a visual image or a picture when you read this? What was your visual?
Of like them putting like the chimpanzees and monkeys in like the boxes and like driving to the zoo and like unloading them and stuff.
Kind of what I hear you girls say, that different strategies and tools work for you than they do for you when it comes to reading, right? So you've got your closet with your shoes going just right with your dress, but no pictures. And she's got some videos going on in her closet, right? So what do you think would help you the most in your class? Could your English teacher do to help you the most to become even better readers? Because you're already awesome readers, but what could your English teacher do to help you even more?
Explain it better, like break it down into parts where we can understand what we're reading. Like they be giving us hard stories, like we're supposed to understand what we're reading when we really don't. So yeah, explaining.
At least like put some keys like this word means this like,
Yeah.
on the sides or something, some footnotes.
Yeah,
So maybe
Vocab.
breaking it up, vocabulary. So what do you do when you get to a word that you don't know?
I sit there and have to break it
I'd
up.
be like staring at it like,
Prefix, suffix, and affix, and just like.
and then I try to like if I see like a very, very, very hard word and I come across to it, like
I guess.
what like an educated is, like what I would do is like I would look at it and then
Look above it and
then like I would reread the sentence and then kind of like
fill in different stuff.
guess what the word means. Like that's what I do all the time. When I see a hard word, I reread the sentence over and over and over and over. Then I'm like, this word could possibly mean this or what the sentence is trying to explain on the word. And that's what I do all the time. Like if I come across a hard word, I will reread it over and over, the sentence over and over, and try to guess what the word is.
Do us a favor then. Read that, and then we're gonna guide you through this, and you're gonna tell me your answer to each one of these 4. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. On your mark, get set, read.
I'm a slow reader. I have like a bunch of sidetracked thoughts, so I have to like snap back in around.
Perfect. and you read for lots of good details. Can you tell us what picture was in your head as you read?
My grandma's house.
Your grandma's house.
Yes.
School.
School. What made you think of school?
Because like it's talking about like how he left school when he was like 13, and you know, and I guess he went back. I don't know. And he had like bad grades, and he wanted to do basketball, and he wasn't able to.
Boom. What made you think of your grandma's house?
Because it said his kitchen is green. And like it said on his stoop. And that's like what my grandma called her porch. She called it a stoop.
Stoop?
Yeah.
And if you were gonna write a quiz for a class about just this, what's one question you would put on that quiz?
Do you think he's going to study for his test?
Perfect.
Then they'd have to make inferences.
Is he gonna make it in basketball?
What do you think happens next? If you were to finish the story.
If he really wants to do basketball, he will have to step up his game and get his grades up. And then he'll do it.
I like that.
I feel like he's gonna try like really hard, and then he's gonna be like all pumped when he gets his report card. He's gonna be like, yeah, I studied forever on this. I'm gonna do so good. And he looks at it and it's gonna be like an F, and then he's gonna be all sad.
So slightly sadder ending. All right. And you sort of already did this connecting it to your grandma, but as you were reading, did it remind you of anything? A personal experience, like something with your grandma, a movie, another book, a TV show? What is it like?
Reminds me of my brother.
Your brother?
Yeah, because he dropped out of school and he wanted to do football.
It's very similar because he's just basketball.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my little cousin. He's very hard-headed and he looks up to me or whatever. Like when he comes home, he rather play games and be on his phone instead of do his work, and he rather me flat iron his hair. I'm like, no, you need to do this work so you won't get no F, and then you'll get in trouble with my Aunt Midori. So, but like, yeah, so I didn't help. He didn't do his work. I didn't help him. He came home with an F. He got in trouble with his mama, and I'm like, see, I told you. He was like, okay, I'll get my grades up, and I'm like, good. And now he might got a few C's, but no D's.
Better.
It's much better.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Say bye to the camera.
Oh yeah, to the camera, if you could just say like,
Oh yeah.
Bye.
and that's what reading looks like.
Hey, Sam.
No, okay.
Tiana will do it for you.
right.
Say, and that's what reading looks like.
And that's what reading looks like.
No, that was great.
That was perfect. Oh yeah, did you get the dancing?
I just did.
Oh, you're gonna show us the video?
When it's done, I'll
Yeah,
make
once
sure
I
I'll
edit
bring it
that,
out.
add the music in, and we'll put Christian in there too, so then you can know what he looks like. And then if you want to add his number to your closet, that's fine. Okay.
Jordan would be happy about that. He would go down that subway hall like, who is this Christian? Okay,
Bye. Thank you.